The region lay beyond mapped hyperspace lanes, where stars burned dim and ancient, and civilizations rose and vanished without leaving more than distorted signals behind. Among those systems ruled a name spoken only in controlled rooms and sealed reports: Verasha, the Black Sovereign. She was feared across the stars. Empires collapsed after crossing her territory. Pirate fleets vanished without distress calls. Even the United Galactic Council avoided direct confrontation, choosing containment over war. They said she was not merely a ruler but a living anomaly, an entity bound to a humanoid form, capable of bending gravitational tides and neural perception. And somehow, against all logic, I was sent to her world. Not as a soldier, not as a diplomat, but as a cultural liaison, an expendable role designed to gather intelligence through proximity. My name is Elias Wren, a low-ranking xenolinguist from a backwater colony orbiting Tau Ceti. I had no combat implants, no political importance, and no illusion of survival. When my assignment came through, my superior wouldn't meet my eyes. "She requested you," he said quietly. That was the part that unsettled everyone. The arrival. Her world, Nalzirith, was not dead, as the reports suggested. It was alive, violently so. Black crystal spires rose from crimson plains, humming with energy beneath the surface. The sky shifted colors in slow pulses, reacting to tectonic movements below. When my transport descended, the planet itself seemed to observe me. I was escorted by silent sentinels, tall, armored beings with glowing sigils embedded in their armor. They did not speak. They did not threaten. They simply ensured I kept walking. The throne chamber defied physics. It was circular, yet endless, folding space inward like a living mind. And at its center stood Verasha. She was taller than any human, her form elegant and terrifying in equal measure. Skin like polished obsidian, etched with faint, star-like patterns that moved slowly, as if mapping constellations across her body. Her eyes, silver and depthless, rested on me before I spoke a word. "So," she said, her voice resonating directly inside my thoughts, "the fragile ones send a scholar." I swallowed. I was chosen to learn, not to judge. Her lips curved slightly. Not a smile. An assessment. Then you may survive longer than the rest. The fear behind the legend. Days turned into cycles. I was not imprisoned. I was studied. Verasha questioned me about humanity, our art, our conflicts, our short lifespans. In return, she revealed fragments of herself, never fully, but enough to fracture the myths. She had not conquered the obsidian reach by brute force alone. She had unified it. Her species, the Nerathi, were born bonded to planetary cores. When their civilization collapsed millennia ago, she survived, merged with the world's sentient mantle, becoming something more than mortal. The power she wielded was not cruelty. It was responsibility. "You fear me because I endure," she told me once, as we stood on a balcony overlooking a storm of floating rock and lightning. Short-lived species call permanence tyranny. "Longevity doesn't make you evil," I said. "It makes you lonely." For the first time, she looked away. The choice no one expected. The Galactic Council made its move without warning. A fleet breached the outer system, armed with null-field weapons designed to sever Verasha's connection to her world. Their plan was simple: weaken her, strike fast, claim the reach. I learned of the invasion before she did. I had a choice: transmit the intelligence, save myself, and be remembered as the man who helped destroy the Black Sovereign, or warn her and be branded a traitor to my species. I didn't hesitate. When I told her, the chamber trembled, not with rage, but restraint. "They will not stop," she said calmly. even if I spare them. They don't understand you, I replied. They're afraid of what they can't control. Her gaze locked onto mine, sharp and searching. Then why did you stay? The answer came from somewhere deeper than reason. Because I saw who you really are. The battle that changed everything. The war lasted 3 days. Verasha did not annihilate the fleet. She dismantled it. Gravity wells swallowing weapons, energy redirected harmlessly into space. But the cost was severe. Severed from parts of her planetary core, she weakened. I found her afterward, kneeling amid fractured crystal, her patterns dimmed. You should leave, she said. They will come again. No, I answered. I'm done running. She looked at me then, not as a subject, not as a curiosity, but as an equal presence. You are choosing exile, she warned. I'm choosing you. Silence stretched between us, vast as interstellar space. Among the Narathai, bonding was not symbolic. It was biological, neural, permanent. To be my mate, she said slowly, is to share my burden, my enemies, my eternity. I stepped closer. Then I won't face it alone anymore. The union of stars. The bonding ritual took place at the planet's core. Energy wrapped around us, rewriting my neural pathways, expanding my perception beyond human limits. I felt the planet breathe. I felt her memories, loss, centuries of vigilance, endless nights guarding a realm that feared her. And she felt my fragility, my hope, my stubborn, defiant compassion. When the light faded, we stood changed. The stars themselves seemed to realign. The ending, a new legend begins. Years passed, or decades. Time mattered less now. The Obsidian Reach transformed, not into an empire, but a sanctuary. Worlds once terrified of Verasha came seeking counsel instead of conquest. The Galactic Council, chastened by failure, opened dialogue at last. Trade routes replaced war corridors, and the legend changed. No longer was she merely the Black Sovereign. She became the Eternal Guardian. And I, once an insignificant human, became a bridge between fleeting lives and endless stars. Sometimes, when we stand together beneath the shifting sky, she asks me if I regret my choice. I always answer the same way. They feared you because they never knew you. I say, I chose you because I did. She inclines her head, resting her forehead against mine, a gesture she learned from humanity. Across the stars, new stories spread, not of fear, but of a being once feared across the stars, and the one who chose her, not as a ruler, but as a mate. The stars outside the viewport no longer felt distant or hostile. They felt familiar. As the flagship drifted into peaceful orbit, the alarms finally silent, I stood beside her, no longer prisoner, no longer outsider, and certainly no longer weak. The galaxy that once mocked me now watched in quiet acknowledgement. She turned to me, her expression no longer guarded by pride or power, but softened by something far rarer among her kind, trust. You changed the course of more than this war, she said. You changed us. I looked at the endless constellations ahead. Humanity had always believed strength came from dominance or fear. But here, among alien empires and ancient stars, I had learned the truth. Strength was choice. Strength was restraint. Strength was standing firm when the universe expected you to kneel. Together, we had rewritten a fate written long before my species ever reached the stars. As hyperspace engines ignited and a new era began, one truth echoed across the galaxy. The weakest human had become the one future civilizations would remember.